Good evening, people. I'm Pabs, a racing VTuber and an artist, and today we are going to be working on this comic. So, as you can see, I've made some good progress on page 2 so far. The main thing left is the shading, like the shading for most of it. So, that's going to be what I'm going to be working on today. It's just shading for the background and for the people. Thankfully, like the working on the people is super easy. Like I can do that very easily. However, the background shading might prove to be a little bit more challenging, but I found some tricks that'll help me get up to speed a little bit. Yeah. First of all, figuring out the light source. That was a little bit fun because this planet allegedly has two suns. So I have no idea how to make that lighting happen. So I'm just gonna wing it. I'm basically gonna maintain like the one. Uh, Looking at it again, the lighting isn't very consistent, so I do want to revisit this just very, very quickly. Okay. The main thing is this one here that needs to be more consistent because I feel like all of these are leaning a very specific way, like this one as well. I just need to kind of just, I could just reach over and tilt them more in this direction. That would be really good, yeah. There we go. Okay. We can use the Milli Pen for the rest of this, assuming I pick the right color. Then maybe like this triangular shape for this tent here, and then we just round it off of this corner here. That doesn't look right for some reason. Maybe, hang on, I think I know what's bothering me about it. I just need to bring this part out a little more. There we go. And also make it match the shade of the house over here, because no, I mean it's a little bit shorter. It wouldn't cast as long of a shadow. All right, let's just fill in this part here. There we go. Unless... Hang on. There we go. No, that doesn't look right still. Hang on. Yeah, I just need to move it even further out. Why? Oh, it's moving the grid. That's an odd decision. I don't know why they keep doing that. Or why they chose to map that to that specific... Sometimes CSP maps things to a weird key, and I just have to kind of accept it as a fact of life. Sometimes you just have to make sense, pretend it makes sense when it really doesn't. Much like when your boss makes a dumb decision. I'm just kidding. Anyway. Okay, so... Oh, wait. There we go. That makes a little bit more sense. And then for just a little bit more, we can add the shadow for this thingy. There we go. And now I just need to erase these other parts right here. Oh boy. Trying to make a reasonable approximation of reality is harder than it looks. I shall treat myself to a bagel once this is over. Okay. Okay, I think that's good for like the grass shade. Then for the buildings, right, I'm working on the buildings on this layer. Okay, so I want a metallic shine to this dome here. So I think the best way to do that is to make another layer. How do I shade metals again? I forgot. I freaking forgot. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. Hang on. I bet, hang on, I bet if I use, am I on a different layer? Yes, I am. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay. Then we blend it out. But not too much. Maybe just this part here. Yeah, actually, hang on. Maybe that's the strat here, is we just have a much lighter shade right here. And we blend that out. No. That works for this part here, I think. But why not for this one? Maybe I use a soft erase. No. I need the hard eraser on a different opacity. Trust. Okay, and then right here in the middle, we are going to have the highlight. And we will make it bright yellow, like this. Nope, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right at all. What about this kind of yellowish? Okay, maybe like this yellow, but on a different opacity. Let's play around with the blending modes. Maybe that'll help me brain it out. I'm kind of digging this one, but... Ooh. Okay, if we darken this... And then we blend out this part right here. I don't know. I feel like it's too gritty to have like a proper sheen like that. What if... Actually, I'm gonna steal that color first. I'm also going to remove the part right here because it doesn't feel quite right. Hang on. Okay, then what's like a good metallic sheen texture? Like maybe the gauze cloud. Should have remembered to select the stuff that I was selecting earlier. Alright, hang on. Would that be like maybe around here? Yeah, that'll work. That'll do. Okay. Let's hunt around a little bit for good cross hatches that we can use for this part. Ooh, I'm kind of a fan of the sand scraping, but let's keep looking. Maybe we have something interesting here. Triple line stippled. What's this one do? Not quite. All right, triple line. Okay, that I don't know what I was expecting from that one. I kind of like this one, but instead of for the sheen, I want it for the rust. I'll have to keep that one in mind. Halftone eraser? Ooh. Very interesting. Okay, this one works. This one I kind of like. Okay. Okay, and then we lower the opacity a little bit. And then we go in with the halftone eraser. I need this to be bigger and less dense. No, that's still too obvious from a distance. Okay, maybe instead of going in with the halftone eraser, we go with the eraser version of this hatching tool we used earlier. I think it was this one. Or maybe even a lighter, like the gauze cloud. That might work. Yeah, okay, we got it. We have a winner. Okay, now what we do is what? Okay, what color does copper rust? I think it gets like this kind of like greenish tint to it, right? Wait, what? Wait, what's this? Oh shoot, have I just been doing this on the same layer? Ah, damn it. All right, hang on. All right, let's reverse this real quick. Mándalo de retro. All right, now we move. Actually, we don't move just yet. We do need to steal that color again. Layer embarrassment incident 5. It really is like a unique feeling having like an embarrassment with your layers, because I feel like once you do it, you need to do like the whatever the artist equivalent is of like the harakiri. Like I feel like I've impugned my own honor. Okay, and then we use the same tool but with the eraser. Oh, okay, I'm getting some even better ideas this time around, so maybe it's a good thing. Now hold up. I like how this is going. I like how I like the iterative process. Okay. So now what we do is we erase a little bit, just a tiny, just like a little, like you know when you want to like take a bite out of something, but you know it's gonna be really hot, so you don't go in like fully in on it. You just take like a little nibble off the edge of it. So that's what we need to go here. We just need to take just a tiny bite, just a tiny little bite right here. Can I get a bite out of that stippling? I would let this whole thing go for a bite of that stippling. Okay. That does look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, the issue now is, of course, that we need to make another another brightness layer, like a layer that's even brighter to counteract that. Maybe if I just make a really big, stupid circle. Yeah, okay, that works actually. It's good to know that my happy-go-lucky nature allows me to pull off things that should reasonably kill any other man. Or bag of rice, I suppose. It's a small comfort in this dark, dark world of mine. Ah, who am I kidding? My life is awesome. All right. Anyway, well, as I was saying, we need to make a few more adjustments. So, like right here, for example, there should be another hole right here. Oh man, I really do like how that came out, honestly. That's really good. That is something. All right. Anyway, enough back padding. There will be time for that later. This part. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to select, because like there's another thing of light coming in here. So what I want to do is I want to select the areas where it would hit right here. And then I want to, how should I do this? I want, because like the thing is, it would only have like a very, it'd be like a semicircle of light because it's half buried in the dirt here. So I guess the best way to do it would probably be to not select it like this at all, but rather to have it like this. Maybe with the kneaded eraser even. It doesn't look quite right with the kneaded eraser. Let's stick to an ordinary raster eraser. Okay, then, and we'll mess around with the lighting there. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't think copper quite rusts, does it? It develops like a patina. Yeah, check this out. Look at that. This is like an animal to me. To be fully real, I do like the idea that, like, I don't know, I really like the color of like corroded copper. There's something very magical about it. Possibly the tetanus. The tetanus might be the magical part. In any case, let's just grab one of these Hatsune Miku flavored pixels here. No, it's more of like a greenish, isn't it? More like a Baja Blast. Someday somebody's gonna watch this VOD and they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Then, in the future, there will be no Baja Blast. It's like that one line from that Power Glove song. What if... Okay, I want to try something real quick. I'm gonna make a new layer, I'm gonna call it Patina. Okay, so this one on top here, I'm going to select color gamut this one here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to deselect this one. Wait, how much of that did that select? Oh, right, it wouldn't select that actually. Hang on. Hold on, let me make a test here. Oh, very good. All right. We're back in business. I wanted to do the halftone, right? For the... Oh, yeah. No, because look how good that looks, so... Oh, actually, no. It could, a little bit can get out of the cables, too. Why not? Okay, then we make this a little bit smaller so we can put this around here. Seriously, that actually looks... I really do enjoy how that looks. And just a little bit back here, just a smidgen. There we go. And then we can... Okay, first I want to make sure that what I'm going to try here is going to work. Because so far it looks nice, but I want to see if I can't apply it through a blending mode of some kind to also fit in with the... Yeah, no, because this turn makes it... What's wrong with this area? It's like completely different. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with why is it just this bit that's not working? A riddle for another time. All right. We'll keep going through the blending modes real quick. This one might work depending on how we play our cards. Overlay? Hard light seems to be working pretty good. That seems to have the best balance between... Okay, I would be lying if I didn't say this one kind of fucked. This one is kind of good. Oh, I love it. I love it when I'm spoiled for choice like this. It's a very uniquely distinct feeling. That's a sentence that made absolutely zero sense. But why is this this little tooth right here not working? Maybe there's something wrong with the shading. Color, brightness. I honestly like this one the best. I think it looks the best, but I am bothered. Why is this one here? Oh, I see now. All right, let's try it now. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's just let me take this part off real quick, and then I can do something very, very funny right here with these rocks. God, have I been working in Millipen this whole time? That's incredible. That is funny. All right. Okay. And just right here. Perfect. Yeah, look at that. Okay, and then we reselect this part here. And then after that, hey, Emerald Ninja, how you doing? Right on. After that, we go for... Good, I'm working out this metallic rust on a copper dome. I'm figuring out how to use these halftone dots here. And it's going pretty well. I need like a bigger density. Ooh, fawn tarnish? Yeah, that's right. Or is that silver? I mean, this is like copper patina, right? So copper rusts green because of some scientific reason I'm not particularly familiar with. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why copper does that, but I know that it do. So no, I think a second layer isn't really adding to it much. I think I'm just gonna maintain this halftone look to it. Maybe for some of the parts down here. Yeah, maybe just for a few select parts right here. Yeah. I think silver tarnishes. Like it never really gets dirty, but it also never really from what I remember about silver, like it doesn't get dirty, but it no, wait, no. Am I thinking of gold? I know copper has a patina. I know that that's what this is called. I don't know about silver though. I have heard of tarnished silver though. Everybody was throwing that phrase around because of friggin' Elden Ring a while back. Halftone dots too. Misremembering mechanics of metal in the Twitch chat. I mean, I don't really remember much about metals either. I know that they exist. I know that they're very important, but besides that, it's like, not much in my mind palace about them. Okay, then we're gonna have just a little bit of some issues right here. Metal is pretty cool. I like metal from a distance. I would like to I would love to learn how metals are worked and forged. I feel like that's a really cool topic of knowledge. Like I would really love to learn how metals are put together and industrially produced. I feel like that's a juicy topic. Okay, then right here we are going to. Okay, I think it's this layer here. There we go. Yep. Okay. Color this part right here. Okay, perfect. I know a little about iron and steel because of the structural design, but I've not got much to share. That's fine. Forgore. Dude, I freaking forgore too. I forgore everything unless I remember. God, it really is like that, isn't it? You remember everything unless you forget it. Alright, anyway, I need to shade these purple planks. Okay, there we go. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Let me use a kneaded eraser for these guys. At a basic level, steel is kind of just iron with very particular carbon quantities that optimize strength and flexibility. Oh yeah, that's why like Japanese katanas were made like with this very specific sand, right? Like it's sand which has like a lot of carbon in it for some reason. And that's why they need it to be folded as well, because that's the best way to draw out carbon for those specific sand types. I remember reading something about that somewhere. Okay, then right over here, we're gonna apply the same kind of shading to this rampart here. Or scaffold. I don't know, rampart is a fun word to say. Okay, then we got a little bit of shading here. I feel like this shading is going to be very important on account of the fact that otherwise it just looks a little bit messy with like all the lines. Iron with minimal carbon is very weak and malleable. Iron with a lot of carbon is brittle. Ah. Yeah. I remember that that's like the difference between like hardness and like fragility or something, or not fragility. It's not anti-fragility either. It's like I remember there was like another measure for how tough something is, which isn't hardness, but rather the ability of it to like bend without breaking, essentially. Because hardness is how much pressure it can take without breaking. But then there's the other measure, which is like bending without breaking. I don't remember what the name of that is called. Maybe it is just like like toughness. I think like that might be the word. There we go. Okay, then There we go. Yeah, there's different details and terms for it. I will look for a certain chart to send you that I don't understand, but it's wizardry in my study book. Hey, cheers, dude! I love charts that look like they could be wizard stuff. I remember somebody once posted like this picture of this one dude's deranged idea of how Dark Souls 2 items dropped that like depended on a bunch of different what do you call like triggers and flags and such. And it was wrong, but it was super entertaining for me to look at. Yeah. That's what I found with a lot of like classes from my degree is that I never ended up like applying a lot of knowledge, but the knowledge still had a purpose. There's no such thing as like wasted learning, right? Let's see. For example, I took a developmental economics course back in university, which discussed like some of the economics of developing countries. So, for example, they worked out like like how one country experienced a famine, and there was like this whole issue because I don't really remember why it happened, but essentially it ended up being that like a lot of people will say that like, oh, a lot of issues are like the result of like a market not being able to meet the demand. But the problem is like they essentially kind of initiated I want to say almost like fabricated famine because like the people stood to gain a lot from raising the prices on food. Yeah. People are always like, "Oh, don't send, if you send your kids to college, they're going to become leftists." The thing is, like, there's like so many reasons and experiences that end up radicalizing you a little bit as you kind of learn the history of the world, and it's a lot sometimes. Some people handle it better than others. Okay, there we go, and then right here. Then right here. Okay, then we are going to increase the brightness of this just for a little section right here. Okay, and then right here, we are going to shape this part here. We're going to make this first part have a little bit of a gradient. Yeah, because the ground is very light and the light is like reflecting off of it, I imagine there would be like a little bit of a gradient right here on the ground. And naturally the kind of ramparts would cast a shadow here. No, ramparts are related with castles, now I remember. Okay. What the? Oh, am I on the wrong layer? I sure am. Okay, then right here. Is this how metal would look? I have no idea. I apply a sort of fuck it we ball style to my shading that some of the realistic render heads in the visual community don't really like. What if I added another shadow here? No, that's like nothing. Hang on, that's nothing. I'm not gonna do that. However, I will blend out. Oh, what the? Let's not do that again. Um, let's try this. Okay, let's do the same thing here, but with just an ordinary gradient. Okay. Maybe if I just erase this part here, and then right around here I add the shiny effect. I think that might work. Okay, then back here. There we go. And for this darker bit, we're gonna want to continue where we left off with the shadows here, as well as add a little something for the ladder. I've got an idea. God, if this works, it's gonna be so funny. Please let this work. Yes. All right, I need to be careful though. I went over the line right there. Yeah, this is gonna make life very easy for me. I mean, ideally. Worst case scenario, it doesn't make it harder, right? I joked about rewarding myself with a bagel earlier. I could really go for a bagel right now. I should have eaten more before stream. I am getting a little bit peckish. The bagel hunger. That's right. Hi, Adept. God. There have been days where I have just demolished an entire bag of bagels. I'm not ashamed to admit it. The bagel hunger has taken victims before. I go at them like a wild animal. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta. I grab them like a dog grabs a chew toy and just shake them around a little bit before really tearing down into it. Only way to eat it, if you ask me. I remember when I was a kid, I used to eat popcorn in a really gross way, where I just like grab a handful. Like I still do this sometimes, and it's a little bit gross, but it's very rewarding. I just grab a handful of it, hold it over the bag or the bowl or whatever I'm eating it out of, and just really just like munch into it. Just really start eating it, like just biting and biting and biting, and like you just get like these little like crumbs of popcorn in your mouth, and it's good. Man, I really hope if I eventually go to therapy, I don't need to. My therapist doesn't look at these spots because I feel like they'll have questions. Things that sane people say. What the fuck is wrong with me? That's true. Sometimes you do kind of just need to let the beast take over. No, I feel like sometimes you just let out a primal thought, and you're like, no, hold on, nobody thinks like this. I think that's healthy sometimes, recognizing that like this is not a normal thing to think. Like it's not good to repress yourself, but it's also no good to let the beast take over too much. I think that's what the plot of Inuyasha was about. At least I think so. I've never really watched Inuyasha properly. I remember I caught like glimpses of it as a child because like it was dubbed in Spanish, but I don't remember. I don't know anything about the plot. I think they have to go on a journey. I am unfamiliar with it. Actually, I can't think of any like Rumiko mangas that I've actually finished. I tried reading Ranma one half one time, but I was like, I tapped out pretty early on that one. I wasn't able to stand it after after a minute. I don't think I'd really like Loom the Invader either. I need to find one that I like. I feel like it's not worth missing out on her works. Let's see. I didn't know she's also worked on some newer stuff, so I might check that out. That might be a good idea. Yeah, the good thing is that this laser gun only shows up like twice, three times maybe. So I don't need to worry about it too much. If I can go a little ham on it. I think it shows on this page and the next page and then the last couple of pages, and even then it's not going to be fully in view. Okay, there we go. Bop, bop, bop. No, hold on. That doesn't make any sense for the shadow of the ladder. This does look really cool. Thank you, Adept. Okay, there we go. There we go. I should probably do a little something for these coils too. That's going to be easy though. All right, here's a fun question. What is the best bagel you have ever eaten? Because for me, I've actually eaten the best bagel I've ever eaten very recently. I remember I haven't had bagels in a really like I feel like the first food item of any type, bagel or otherwise, is always the one you've had after a long time of not having it. Like it's like the memorial one. It's the one that you remember the most because you just haven't had it for a long time. Very recently, I got myself a. I've actually been going bagel mode very frequently recently, possibly to my health detriment. But I remember this started a little while ago when I was for some reason craving a bagel. I don't know if it was because like I just seen something that reminded me of how good like blueberry bagels were, or like cinnamon raisin bagels with cream cheese is my current go-to. I really enjoy them. However, I do wonder if there's more to bagels than just this. The thing is that like I mainly get my bagels from like the local cafe, and they only have like five types. One of which is like plain, the other one is which is like everything bagel, and that doesn't taste very good with cream cheese. But I imagine it might taste very nice with something like ham or something. Yeah, the true depth of bagel. I remember every time I think about the true depth of food item, I remember this one post that it's like some dude was like saying all U.S. burger chains taste the same. Americans have no idea what they're talking about. And one of them is like, and somebody responded to him saying, "You're an idiot. You will never understand the true depth of burger." And I'm not gonna lie, I sided with the burger guy. I do think that that American burger do be having depth. However, now I can't think of the depth of any item without remembering that post. It's like lodged in there real good. There we go. Okay, I think the next part would probably be these steps here. Some of my coworkers like to get some bagels with smoked salmon. Ooh, with the lox. I will have to try that out. I do like the idea of like more meats with the bagels. I think like definitely my pairing of my pairing for life on like sweet bagels is definitely going to be cream cheese, but I have not considered where the possibilities of like meat on the bagel could take me. I will admit I have not ruminated on this topic very frequently. I will have to endeavor to do so now. Make up for lost time. I will say the one kind of like breakfast item that I struggle with doing anything creative with is probably going to be English muffins. I feel like you can turn those into a breakfast sandwich and that's about it. I don't know. I can't like I think maybe if you say use them as part of like French toast, that might be something, but I can't imagine like that working very well. I don't know, the English muffin. Send you the wizardry. Let me see. I would like to see it. Ooh. Oh yes. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. The mushy stage. Let's go. All right. This is some sort of wizardry. Yes, I do agree. Iron and austenite. That's that thing that they have in Australia. Austenite solid solution of carbon and gamma iron. The axes are very simple. Yeah, temperature and percent carbon by weight. Okay, so we have low temperature and percent carbon by weight very low. That's perlite and ferrite. Perlite and cementite. Cementite, perlite, and transformed ledeburite. Ah, these are some solid names. Iron graphite line. Okay. Oh, I could look at this for a little while, but I have already. But that is beautiful. I like this. Also, nice. Anyway, back to shading. I did like that diagram very much. Thank you for sending it over. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of a thingy right here. A little bit of a hole. The beautiful wizard that I could not explain to you. Most wizards can't explain what they do either. I don't think you're alone in that regard. It's called magic precisely because we don't understand what it is. If it could be explained, it would just be ordinary science. That's something that I learned recently. Did you know that? Okay, so have any of you ever heard the term preternatural before? So when you're discussing something that can be a little bit beyond like the ordinary realm of experiences, you can describe it as supernatural, or alternatively, you can also describe it as preternatural. So what the fact that there's like a fun difference between the meaning of preternatural and the meaning of supernatural. And supernatural essentially comes from the idea that it's like divine in origin. Or no, I think is it the other way around? Hang on. Anyway, I remember that it's like stalagmites and stalactites essentially. That one of them is essentially like a change that is within human limits, but not within like the ordinary course of nature. So if say I caused something to set on fire with my mind, I think that would be like within like the supernatural, because what that is that's I could just light normally using a match or something, but I did it with my mind, which is a little bit weird. So that's supernatural. But if say I caused a fully formed, perfectly baked eggplant and broccoli quiche to manifest out of thin air, that would be a preternat. Well, no, I guess that would also be still within the concept of like the human power, because it is within human power to make a perfect quiche. I've seen it before; it's beautiful. Although you do have to wear goggles during the process, because otherwise you risk being blinded by the sheer glory of it. A good quiche can change your life like that, for better and for worse. In any case, let me Google this real quick. Actually, this is going to bug me if I don't remember. Okay, let's see. Theology, science. Okay, so preternatural is like the one that's like within still mundane powers, but through obscure means. But supernatural is like beyond mundane power. So, okay, here's a good example of like the preternatural versus supernatural. Preternatural, I manifest a quiche out of the thin air. Supernatural, a new star is born within like Earth's galactic quadrant. That is like absolutely not within any human's power, possibly ever. So that's a kind of difference of that. I find that it's a useful differentiation. Because one of them's like, oh man, that's weird. And the other one's like, that should not be happening, period. You know what I hope I get to see someday? Ball lightning. Everybody talks a good game about it. It's like, oh my god, it's one of the weirdest, most random events to ever happen. I'm just like rubbing my hands and licking on my lips, hearing that. I want to get in there. I want to touch the forbidden orb. Paracalcul is action A causes end result B, but we don't know how. Lancer. Yeah, Paracalcul is some other shit. Yeah, I think Paracalcel is more like if you essentially try to do the quiche manifestation trick that I've been pointing out so frequently, but instead of manifesting a quiche, it just creates a sentient life form. Yeah, ball lightning. I remember there was like a YouTube video that showed off ball lightning at one point, but I can't remember if that's a hoax or not. Oh yeah. Gun. That's a really good Lancer bit. Hang on, let me see if I can bring up the description for gun. Let me pull up CompCon, actually. It'd be in like it'd be under the whatchamacallit, Pegasus frames. Yeah, there we go. Frame trades? Question mark. Hang on. Oh yeah, hang on. I'd have to scroll the way up. Hang on. This is an actual thing that you can put on your robot in the tabletop game Lancer. God, yeah. Funny thing. See, right now, this weapon technically doesn't even exist. You're shooting them with a gun that isn't real, and yet it is. Don't worry about it. Roz are like that. Just, here, know that because it exists at some point, we've made it. That's causality, and causality is a... End of transmission. And that's not even getting into the whole thing that you can apparently unshackle it, which has concerning implications. Because that's normally a phrase used reserved only for things like NHPs. God, Lancer is so good at world building. I love it so much. Messed up Lancer raw frame license world building, my beloved. Hang on. There's a faster way to do this. Yeah. You unshackle, you shop the end, you can make reality cry 3 times as fast. It's like Char's custom Saku, but for giving physics a wedgie. You can get real silly with some stupid shit in Lancer. I mean, hell, the other day I designed a mech that let me become a ball of light. And fly around. And it was awesome. Pavs, are you familiar with Tear Throat? Sure, I do that whenever I have to go get lunch. Hey, yo. No, I'm not. Is it in the context of Lancer, or... Your pixels, that's right. Yeah, I liked how I looked with the 1-bit palette for a little bit, so I'm going to keep it on for today. Yeah, I'm always pixels. If you want to be a pedant, if I wanted to be that guy, I would say that I'm always pixels. Lancer, it's one of the bond powers. Oh, right. Right now I remember. It's like one of the like. Right, I remember. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I'm being a smartass. Yeah, it's where's the bond powers on Lancer? Ah, my one weakness, being hit with a nerd emoji. It's scathing. Well, actually, Tear Throat, you can instantly kill any NPCs in arm's reach of you without rolling, but must first pay the cost. You are racked by guilt and unable to use this ability again until the next session. You take a burden. Yeah. No, I remember now that when you mentioned it was like a bond power, now I remember what it was about. You did that imitation so well. Yeah. Well, I think that somehow we've reached a point where like everybody knows like what the nerd voice sounds like, but yet I've actually no, actually that's not true. I follow this guy called Huge Kyle that does a really good approximation of that as a persona, and it's really good. But yeah, I feel like we I feel like that nerd voice is a lot like German 985 in that we all instantly recognize it, but we don't know why we do so. It's like a Rorschach print or something. Okay, that's gonna go like this. Yeah, hi Ben Leov. How you doing tonight? Okay, expand that by 1 pixel or increase the tolerance, I guess. Yeah, that's a ticket. Okay, then put this here. Good? You seem maybe it's a caps lock or something. You do seem a little manic, maybe? I'm glad to hear that you're doing good though. That's always good to hear. Huh. Good as in fine or good as in not evil? I think I think Leo is going through a plethora of emotions. Damn. I mean, I'm always evil. That's true. You do have the soul. Do have the spirit of mischief in you. I think you're like the equivalent of like if that like little like demon emoji had like cat ears or something. I feel kind of like that. I feel like you're like the demon emoji did like the semicolon 3 face or like the colon 3 face. I don't remember. No, it's a colon 3 face. Let's see. I bet we could make that in that emoji cookbook thing. I'm just a little guy. That's true. I think these truths can be perhaps can coexist. Certainly, everyone can tell that I'm mischievous. That actually no, never mind. The greater than colon 3 emoji is what describes you very well. Like the one that you just used there, right there. That's peak. That's the one. That's you. Okay, then that's gonna come in like this, and then there we go. Sorry, can you repeat that? Uh, that's it. That's peak. That's you. The emoji that you just used describes you very well, I think. Now you keep outdoing yourself tonight. That you keep bringing new parts to this equation. I feel like I'm watching one of those like mandalas. I'm watching like a mandala be built in a time lapse. Great stuff. Right. Is there anything else that I need to shade here? I'm going to get. I will run. Oh, I see. All right, we'll okay, shitting on top of people now. Shading. My my closed captions picked that up as something else, but I was saying shading on top of people. I love my closed captions. I do like having captions on screen like this. However, I also recognize that because of the poor implementation of it from time to time, it results in a lot of moments where, like, have you guys ever seen that Tumblr post that says, like, the reading comprehension on this website is piss poor, and somebody else says, how dare you say we piss on the poor? Gives that vibe off a little bit. Just a touch. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna have a thingy here. And another thingy here. Very good. I think except with the exception of this dude, that's like all of them shaded. Okay, then for this one, we're going to use like a blue shading. Is this a very, very, very small level of detail? Yes, it is. Am I having fun? Yes, I am. So I will continue doing it. Alright, I think that's the goons done. I'm not gonna shade their helmets on this. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit of shade on the helmets and the metal. Okay. I keep seeing this dude flipping off this other guy. So I need to, like, I do need to add some last second modifications here. Maybe if I kind of just reach over here. Hang on. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This guy's gonna beat the middle finger allegations. You watch. Yeah, that looks much more like a thumbs up. Don't get me wrong, it'd be funny if these guys were randomly flipping each other off, but I feel like they, I feel like as much as they are the bad guys, they do have some degree of solidarity and wouldn't just do that to each other. Okay, then over here, we're gonna shade this dude. Then this dude. I should also shade this wheelbarrow just a touch. There we go. All right, I think that's the first bit. No, wait, I'm missing Hawk and these other two. All right, spoke too soon. Let me climb back on there. Okay. The one thing that's going to be a little bit annoying about a ratio is that because of the cloth pattern that I really like and want to keep on, I will need to Oh, wait, actually. Huh. No, I can just shade on top of it. At least at this point. I mean, why not? Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all. Damn, that's crazy. Oh, that's not. Hang on. There we go. Damn, that's crazy. I beefed it at one time on the bot ban, but I got there. What matters isn't the journey; it's the destination. Wait, no. People usually say the opposite of that, don't they? Well, either way, one more bot has been wiped off the face of this earth. Or at the very least off the face of my channel, which is about as good as I can do. Unless I start doing some morally dubious chivalry. Now I'm just imagining some vigilante that hacks profiles just to ban idle bots on their channel. Skirting on the wrong side of the law just to make sure that they don't appear no more. Honestly, past some point it would just be more efficient to get rid of the people commanding the bots, but... well, what can you do? Oh, I see an execution occurred while I stepped away. Yeah. I was merciful and granted them a quick death. It only took me 2 strikes of the axe. Yeah, it was just a bot follower. It wasn't that much. It wasn't much to write home about. Come to think of it, the bot problem on Tumblr has actually gotten a lot better since I've made that one comic. There's been like different waves of them coming in and out, but I think right now it's at a pretty good place. I say this, and tomorrow morning there will be like 50 million new bot followers on my feed. That what's the threshold, right, for like when you should just like give up on like bot followers? Because I feel like obviously it's not good if they're all in there, but at the same time, like, you know, that's a lot of like fake algorithmic cloud right there. I don't know. There's probably some policy against using it to your advantage too. I'm at least I imagine there is, because like then you could just have some dude who's like buying followers, which I don't know if I don't think it's allowed by Twitch's policies. And you could just have them fade in ignorance, like, I don't know, these bots just started following me out of nowhere. I don't know why it happened. No, that's probably not it, because I feel like somebody would have tried to do that for as a means of like harassment, right? I just don't bother worrying about it, to be quite honest. That's true. That's a better approach to take. But yeah, I also don't think that's going to be a problem that I need to worry about for the foreseeable future. Like I said, if it was like a bannable offense, or if it was like that big of a deal, somebody would have tried to weaponize it already. Okay, there we go. When I was going for associates, or whatever the term is for God, they usually got deleted in a couple days. Okay, I got my emotes. That's true. Oh, yeah. Affiliate, I think. I think that's the term, affiliate. Okay, then the last couple of things. What's this one do? Jupiter. Jupiter. Oh no. Sadly, Emerald exploded. They shall be missed greatly. Okay, right. I wanted to do something to kind of outline a ratio here. Let me use the milling pen here. Yeah, Jupiter does good work. I really like their stuff. I should invite them on the channel at some point. I feel like they make for a great conversation. I'm gonna copy and paste this exact 3-line combo and then just flip it around like this. Okay, then over Hawk, we're going to draw the shading, which is going to be very easy. I don't foresee any problems shading Hawk. Oh hell yeah! All right, have fun with your video games. Win a few rounds over there. Enjoy your time. Okay, there we go. Okay, then we're gonna have a little bit of shading right here for the collar. Okay, tolerance, increase that. Area scaling, maybe? Actually, yeah, I think all of Hawk's lines should be big enough that I don't need to worry about area scaling. Okay. Then right here. Okay, there we go. One line, a little bit of shading here, a little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Sandra by my side, a little bit of Rita is what I need. Mambo number 5. I should listen to that song again. It's just such a nice, funny, and joyful song. Let's see. I forget. Do I have the? I think I do have the exact same shading for Hawk's helmet that the same shading color for Hawk's helmet that I do for her shirt, but I just kind of work the kind of like shading style for it. Let me just open up the reference real quick. It doesn't hurt to check. Okay, I don't have a reference for how the shirt should be shaded at all, but I do have the color for the helmet, so I might as well use that. It's a little bit more vibrant than I was using. Oh yeah, we are so back. Okay, there we go. Then over here. There we go. And then for the helmet. What are these other things that I have open? Oh, right, rust color references. How are we for time? Oh, we're pretty good for time. That's a relief. Okay, there we go. Okay, then like this. It's good to see that I haven't lost a lot of the muscle memory from when I was shading the helmet originally. I was a little worried that it would take me a while to get back into the rhythm of it, but it's like coming home to an old friend. I'm like a washed up old boxing coach. I still got it. I could have been a contender. Regardless. There we go, and then over here. Okay. I don't like that there's a little patch of purple right there. I'm gonna need to move that. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. Oh yeah, her arm would be here, right? In the reflection of the helmet a little bit. Maybe a little bit like this. Yeah, that looks good. All right, I think that's panel 1 done. Oh my god, it feels like it's taken a month just to get this far. Heavens forgive me, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this comic this year. Well, I'll have confidence. I'm sure with my abilities I can figure it out one way or another. It's not like I'm working on a particular deadline, I just like to be able to finish it before the end of the year. Okay. Completely forgot to shade the jetpack. Come on, brother. Come on. All right. We roll with it. We roll with it. Okay. First we're gonna need to make the holes here. I think that's how it is for the. Yeah, no, the last one's a hole. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay. All right. The good news is that at least I'm not going to be suffering for too long. Like I said, I still remember how to do most of the metal shading, so that's not going to be an issue. Okay. There we go. Okay. And right here. Yeah, we are so back. I do think the jetpack's charm point are definitely these little buttons on the wing. I don't know, there's something very appealing about them to me. Okay. I need to do a little something crazy here. I wish that CSV had more tools similar to what Blender does. There's things that I can do in Blender that I wish I could like manipulate in CSV. I'll have to settle for an approximation at least. It's not that hard to jury rig if you know what you're doing. Right, so for example, right here I wanted to do this thing where you can inset, right? In Blender, you can, when you have multiple faces selected, you can choose to inset them as a group. So essentially what that would do is that it would shrink them in a very specific way. However, the selection tool that I was using only allows for you to shrink your selection, which, while certainly versatile in its own way, isn't quite what I wanted to do. It's super weird. I cannot believe I'm finally operating on Blender Brain. It took a while, but I'm there. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so for the jetpack, we're going to have a big ol' bright. No, that's weird. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for this one that we did for the shading, is that we're going to, yeah, there we go, just like that. For some reason, it looks more metallic when you do it like this. It's got its own kind of appeal, right? At least that's what I like to think. All right, I can't go too ham on the shading, otherwise that's going to create a bad or a troublesome precedent. Okay, we go a little ham, just a little bit. Okay. Then the grading. We have a reference for that too. Yeah, there we go. I think that's also true for the goggles, isn't it? Yeah. I also forgot to do the skin and the gloves, but that's fine. Those are less relevant, I think. Okay, then like this. Okay. Let's continue in this way. I should caramelize onions at some point this week. Or actually, no, next week. Next week. This week, I'm pretty much on a lockdown until Friday on what kind of things I can do. I don't know. The thing is, right? I'm doing something important this weekend, and I want to be at like full energy for that. And for some reason, whenever I think about that event, I feel like I can't do anything else. Right? Like I feel like, oh no, I can't cook something. I need to worry about that event. It's so weird. Like theoretically, doing these things would make me more prepared for it, not less. Like I feel like I can't make plans at all this week. It's crazy. Hmm. Maybe there's some kind of compromise I can reach. Earlier today, I saw this one TikTok of this one art store that made these paintings, these art pieces, which were very, to me, very strange. I didn't quite understand them. They were these. So I guess it was. I guess the best way to describe it is like decor. Like it. Some of them were art pieces, but a lot of them were like just these decor items that were very heavily like, I don't know how to put it. It was kind of beautiful in a way because it felt like the perfect encapsulation of like what like a 15-year-old would think would be like super cool to own if they suddenly got a ton of money. Like they had like these things of Hennessy and guns that were put in like blocks of resin and then used as like end tables. It was super weird. I had never seen something like that before. And it was kind of incredible. I kind of liked it. But I like at the same time I kept looking at it. It's something about it just felt like weird. I don't know. They say art is supposed to make you feel things. I think in that regard, this also very much qualifies as art. It's a cool idea though. I had never thought of like preserving stuff like bottles and such of liquor and things like that in resin. So I think that's definitely very creative. It does, however, look like what would happen if like you remember how like in this one dude's mansion, I remember there was like this one post showing like a Zillow listing for this one famous musician's mansion. I don't and they were a musician or an actor or something, but they were putting up their mansion for sale. And for some reason, they had like a giant sized painting of characters from Family Guy on their wall for some reason. And I could not for the life of me understand like where that came from. I understand they're from Family Guy is the thing, but I don't understand what like where the idea for that specific decor came from. Like it fascinates me in a way. I want to learn more about what led them to these decisions. Like there has to be something fueling their sense of aesthetic, right? I want to understand more about it. I want to study it like a lab. Hey, Leah, welcome back. Okay, there we go. Did you have something to eat? Okay, grab this. There we go. Okay. Now I just need to finish the skin and the gloves and the leather, and I'll be good. What did I have for the skin shading here? Yes, I was waiting forever because I had to reheat the rice and got into the conversation about that one guy that died from fried rice poisoning. The huh? The who? The guy that died from what? I haven't heard of that guy. Like, was there poison in his rice? It wasn't even fried rice. Really? Wait, no. So I'm confused. Okay. Wait, no. I'm getting less confused now. Actually, now that you mentioned that it was really old pasta, he died. I feel like I'm being yanked in like 4 different ways. Okay, so he died 10 years ago from eating old pasta. So like, is the pasta still around? Is that why it's really old still? What would you? What would they have to pay you to eat a bite of 10-year-old pasta? A little slice of like finely aged. He hated it and died in it. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, but yeah, no. I remember this one dude who actually that reminds me of a story of this one dude who managed to extract like a yeast colony from like this ancient Egyptian bread or ancient Roman bread or something. I think it was ancient Egyptian bread, and he actually managed to make a loaf of like what people would make a bread loaf out of from those days, and it was so cool. Let me tell you, I would let this whole thing go for a bite of that Egyptian bread with a little bit of butter, maybe. Mmm, that's appetizers right there. Oh, the sarcophagus wine. I remember that too. I think there's also like a block of cheese that was very well preserved for some reason. I remember that there was like the wine, the bread, and the cheese. The forbidden charcuterie board, if you will. I don't know. How forbidden could a charcuterie board really be? Hmm. That's a little better. Let me crack my wrist real quick. Okay. Now we can move on to shading panel 2. After for fucking ever. Yeah, I think we're good to shade panel 2, and then we might have to call it a night. I should turn off the area scaling for this one. Okay. I do like that having the jetpack harness be like this essentially gives us a chance to do that suspender trick. You know that thing that they do in cartoons where somebody will like snap their suspenders to kind of like punctuate a sentence? I think Hawk can do that with her jetpack harness. I feel like it would be very in character. Although I guess I'd never heard with boobs in the way. Hmm. Well, nobody said that having panache would be easy or painless. No, not there. I think we've traded the jacket about as much as we need to. I say as I add a little bit more shadow, a few more shadows more. Few more shadows more. That's not a... Hmm. How proficient can you be in English before you can stop pulling out the English is my second language card? Because I feel like I should be able to abuse that thing much more than I actually do. I feel like at this point, if I said actually English is my second language, so don't worry about any like spelling mistakes I make, I feel like that would be pushing it. Never always abuse it. You're right. I had to bust my humps as a 6-year-old to learn English. I will use my Latino privilege as much as possible. Thank you, Leo. I know now what I must do. For I learned English at 10. Oof. That's much harder, I reckon. I remember trying to learn another language when I was 10, and well, no, I didn't really use the language all that often. I imagine I used it much less than somebody who is like an English speaking country. And I sound very good. That's true. You do sound very good. Hell, your elocution is better than mine. I tend to slur words together from time to time. I try to say some words too fast, and it comes back to bite me in the ass. I gotta treat them gently. I gotta take my time with each of them, like an omelet or souffle. I've never actually had like a. I think I've had a souffle once. I don't know. I don't know how good souffle actually is. I think it's just difficult to make. I only have problems saying some words, but I just say it's what makes me cute. That's true. Listen, it's not a weakness, it's a charm point. This is the law of Moe. Anything can be a charm point if you look at it with love, is the thing. I do believe this firmly, and that's a good thing. When I switch from Spanish to English too fast, I start fumbling my words. Oh, that happens to me too. Like I start speaking like very strange Spanglish. Weirdly enough, I don't really. I try to either speak entirely in Spanish or entirely in English. Very like I only speak Spanglish when I'm trying to remember a word or something else. I speak Spanglish with my brother. Yeah, it's like remixing, but as a language. Honestly, Spanglish is kind of lit as like a form of communication. If both people can understand it, then it's really good. It flows very well. On the other hand, if there's issues with understanding it, then well, then you're kind of boned. What did I do for the first page for Hawk's helmet? Did I just fill them in completely with black dots, or is that did I do something else? No, I just left them alone, more or less. Okay, there we go. Can I? Thank you. There we go. Okay, there we go. And then right here, shrink the selection. Shrink it again. More. More! There we go. Actually, I feel like this should be in the opposite direction. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I said anyway, like I had a topic in mind to talk about. I don't. It's very rare that I run out of things to say. I must admit, it's an unusual occurrence. Well, we are almost closing out on stream. I think it's okay if I take a rain check on having a head for words just this once. Now, there's this advice I saw the other day, right? Make every day the main event. Now you get to talk about how that doesn't happen to you. That's true. Yeah, I remember seeing this advice the other day, right? Everybody talks a good game about like what you need to do to grow as a VTuber. It's actually, from what I understand, it's like a very straightforward process. You just need to be putting out more and more content and increasing your reach constantly. I say that's simple, but it's not easy, so to say. That being said, one of the things that I saw from their advice, which I really admired, I wanted to try to implement it into my own ethos, is make every day the main event. That's like one of the things that they talked about in that advice. That's something I want to be able to cultivate. That's something I want. That sounds tight as hell to be able to make happen. It explains it. It explains it in a really nice way. I think. It's it's one thing to make every day special, right? But like make every day the main event. That's more meaningful, I think. Like that gives you a much better. That has like some kind of imagery to it that I can't quite describe. Although I do know that it involves circuses. So that in my mind's eye, whenever somebody says, when I read the advice of like make every day the main event, I had to shake my friend who was firm about just how you need to stream every day and you will get an average of 14 viewers. And I told him that's not how it works. He just has a nice voice. I mean, to be fair, I did grow the fastest when I was streaming every day. But the thing is that is completely unsustainable. God, yeah. That is really funny. Now, I remember like toward the end of October when that first month I was streaming, I was like, I wasn't burnt out on streaming, but I did notice that like my voice was starting to go, and that my wrists were starting to hurt a little bit. I'm like, okay, it's time. We need to take it easy. We need to reel back a little. Every fucking day, I was like Sisyphus out there. I was like Prometheus and shit. What a crazy world. What a crazy time of my life. Weirdly enough, very few things were happening at that point. I don't know. I wouldn't say I would say that my life is crazier now, but it's also a lot more stable. Like I have a day job now. Lots of things have changed. I'm gainfully employed. It's hard to say that I gained the confidence for that through streaming, but I do think it definitely helped my ability to carry on confidently in front of people that I don't know. It gave me a sort of brazenness that I didn't have previously. I need to eventually visit New York so I can test out and see if I can do the "Hey, I'm walking here" thing. That's when I'll know whether or not I've made it in terms of self-confidence. The kind of like raw anger and confidence that you need in order to face New York traffic as a pedestrian. That's like that's like the equivalent of a black belt in self-confidence. Like you are 100% risking the wrath of some of some 6'8" dude who weighs 250 pounds called Tony just getting out of his car and stepping to you. Like, that's what you risk whenever you pick a fight with New York traffic. Spider-Man is a documentary. I've been seeing a friend of mine, I've been seeing V, my friend, play Spider-Man 2 on the PS5 recently, and it's been a great fun watching her play through it. There is like a lot of like, and I've noticed it particularly with this game, but like there's like a very large mythologization of New York for something that is just like an ordinary city. My friend showed a video of him driving in the rain, blasting his music and screaming, "He's from New York." Yeah, that tracks. I feel like we mythologize New York a lot for what's essentially the same thing as every other city on Earth. The thing is, like, New York has a very specific history that lends it, like, its character, but you can say that of just about every city on Earth. Except Ottawa. Ottawa is kind of like an NPC of a city. That is true. I will grant New Yorkers that, like, the bit that New York is New York freaking city is the greatest city on Earth is a genuinely good bit. And it's harmless fun, honestly. So I'm not gonna like diss them for it. The problem is like when other people start to like buy into it a little too much, and like you have this one person who is like, "Oh, I can't wait to move to New York and really make it." I'm like, family, you are paying $5 million a month for a box on top of an apartment building. You are not making it out here. We are not making it out of Brooklyn with this one. But yeah, I've been to New York a couple of times. I get it. Like, I understand it. Honestly, the most memorable part of it is always going to be the food to me. I don't care about the buildings. I don't care about the rich culture and history that, has shaped generations and will shape generations to come. I care about that food. I am here for a bite to eat. A little bit of procurement. You feel me? Okay, then over here. I like that whenever I don't know how something should be shaded, I default to like this random curve. I'm about to like unmask myself for the whole world. I just keep drawing curves whenever there should be shadows. And it works. It just works. And it's great. I'm a fraud and I don't even care. I'm a fraud and nobody knows any better. That's not true. I'm a genuinely skilled artist and my art makes many people happy. But sometimes it's funny to joke. That's true. If it works, it works. I shouldn't get too hung up on the other details. That reminds me, I should save my work on this page. Okay, we're gonna like... Actually, come to think of it, I can just grab a shadow from this background right here, can't I? For this log right here. Okay. Grab this guy's color. Go like this. I do wonder if it'll be faster to do it the way I'm doing it right now, where I do like one page at a time and then switch to the next one, or if it might be faster to just do line art all the time and then do shading all the time and then do coloring all the time. I don't know. The thing is that I feel like that's too tedious as well. You know, workflow is about efficiency, certainly, but it's also about like, you know, I feel like your own enrichment also comes in to play with that efficiency, with that idea of efficiency. Look, even if you're technically working at your fastest, you're not actually working that fast at all because of the fact that you're distracted by yourself. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll finish these guys, then our ratio, and then I think the panel will be good to go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Last time I was talking about the fact that like I was looking into different reactive feedback. So you know how when you have your phone unsilenced and you type something out, your keyboard makes like little blipping noises. I was thinking about trying to do something like that, but for my drawing tablet, but exclusively for like the VOD audio channels, right? So that way, if somebody's listening to the VOD while I'm just like listening to the BGM while it's live, I can just, you know, they have something to listen to besides just me randomly spacing out towards the end. I feel like that would take a lot of pressure off of me having dead air. And I've been looking into that, and surprisingly enough, one of the best solutions that I found is actually this one widget question mark, this one small program, this very lightweight program that was originally made for death counters. Like if you tap the button, it'll do like that ding, and it'll increase the number of deaths that you've suffered during the run. It was originally made for that, but I'm going to repurpose it for my own efforts and see if I can't rig it to my mouse and certain commands. If I can figure this out, I think I can create some very nice VODs. Although I will have to try and listen into them, because what I'm trying to go for in terms of like vibe is like those like office ambience ASMR things, right? Like you hear like soft clattering of soft clapping of keyboards. Yeah, no, that's Randy from accounting. He just fucking hates keyboards, so we just let him go to town on a couple of them every now and again. He does good work, but my god, he really, really hates keyboards. Anyway, the soft clapping. Colonel. In any case, the soft clattering of keyboards. And so that's like my goal with this, and I'm gonna have to take it out for a test run every now and again. I might just do like a very short stream. I might do some kind of like might have to do some whatchamacall focus testing. Yeah. I do see that people watch my VODs. Like I do see people watching my VODs. So I want to make sure that they have something to look forward to besides that air. And I'm sure they don't mind it very much if they've been listening, if they've been watching so far, but I want to try and do something nice for them. Or at least provide like a much more, I don't know. I think that's my problem is that I'm a little too worried that I'm not exciting enough in some respects when in reality my vibe is just being a chill, laid back person. I'm trying to become like what I want to watch rather than what I am, which introduces a few problems to the equation. I'll figure it out or I won't. That's kind of why I wanted like soft clattering and just something that's not very noticeable, because then that is much easier to gel with the kind of the cozy ambience. Beyonce. I mean, I also got people watching my stuff, even though I'm just was. Well, I mean, you have a lot of pop offs as the thing. Like, you really pop off in art, and in also in like the games you play. So I can understand that much. I don't know. It's very difficult to like see our own appeal in a lot of cases. I think unless you have a very, very, very solid self awareness, it's not uncommon to be like, wait, do you guys think this guy's funny? Like referring to yourself. That's why I'm grateful for everybody that comes by. And also, and you know, that is also what like drives me to try and do better stuff and make things much more comfortable. But unless I test it out, it's not really gonna bear any fruit. Like, remember that time when I turned off the background music and you were like, "Oh, thank God," and that's when I realized that like, oh hey, maybe having the same background music over and over, like some kind of saw trap esque torture method, might not be the best thing. uh, in retrospect, that might have just been a matter of common sense. Wait, is my oh dear, I think my avatar's been frozen for a while like this, hasn't it? Hang on. I'm still so mad that you weren't even listening to it this whole fucking time. What can I say? I can be a little bit of a rascal from time to time. I've just been sitting here, not a thought behind my eyes. Didn't even notice. Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't even notice either. Like I said, I talk a lot, so it's not unusual for me to just have my mouth open there catching flies like that. I don't know. PNG Tuber Plus is actually very good for that. In that, like, it just yeah, he was just chilling. That's me, homunculus. You know, PNG Tuber Plus is actually very good in that the tuning that you can do for the microphone capture follows my cadence of speaking very, very well. I'm very pleased with how well it's like following my words. Now, is it the same color as the word? No, it is the same color. All right. Oh, I think I see what's bothering me about this horn here. All right. We're gonna go back and do some lightning quick edit right here on the horn. Because now I'm realizing that the horn should go over the shirt like this. Okay. Am I on the right layer? I should be. Whatever, I can just do it on the shading layer. Fuck it, we ball. There we go. Okay, and then we turn on this thing. That thing. This works, I think. Okay, and then just a little hat here. Love this hat. Okay. Perfect. I think that's panel 2 pretty much. Wait. One last thing. Alright, one last thing. We do need to have some kind of shadow here for Hawk. Let me go back here. Can't stop the grind. Can't stop. I forgot the rest of the song. Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop chop, said I'm gonna win big. There we go. Where the fuck is this grass texture on? Oh, it's on this layer. Okay, we can work with this. Alright, I need like a brush. I think wash brush should do it. Okay, now we blend this out. No, we need to maintain it well defined. Alright. Let's try that again. Maybe with a G pen, but like bigger. Maybe even on a different kind of like angle. Yeah, that works actually. And then on a separate layer, we also get... I have like a brighter grass texture. There's like this thing that helicopters do when they are touching down, that they kind of like create like rings of grass around themselves, right? Because of the air pressure. Okay. I need to get rid of this fool's shoe. I'm gonna saw off your leg. Come here. My background is now immaculate. As I was saying, yeah, helicopters have because of the air pressure that helicopters exert, they have like this thing when they land on grass. And you see it a lot in movies, where they'll create like this like little ring around the area where they're about to land. Okay, then like this, like this, like this, like this. I kind of want to liquefy this a little bit, stretch it out a little. Maybe refine it a little too. There we go. What I kind of want to do as well, hang on, to really emphasize this thing that she's doing. Forgot the cane. We can go back to that. We can come back to that. Hang on. Wanna. There we go. Okay, then maybe a few of these. I forgot to draw the trail behind her too. Just a little bit, just like shh, right here. We can do something similar for here. It's not bad to paint things in manually every now and again. It's a little annoying, but what can you do? Sometimes it's just the most convenient way to proceed. All right. What is that? What is that right there? Hang on. Right, I forgot the cane too. I keep fumbling. Okay. Last fumble of the night. God willing, last fumble of the night. The jetpack too is also unshaded. Son of a. I'll handle it. I'll handle it. Okay. Come on, bud. There we go. All right, while we're at it, let's also shade the cane. Okay, and then right here, we are going to have big shadow back here, and then little shadow up top here. I feel like I've switched to caveman talk. We have big shadow here. Grug believed that this is the best angle for ambient occlusion, but Grug is an amateur. You will have to find your own path in life, one different from Grug. Do you think that like do you think that like when people are still making those like Paleolithic like deer drawings, you know the ones where they have like that they made like with their hands or whatever. Do you think like they also had like discourse on like copying art styles? Do you think cavemen had art style discourse? It would be so fucked if that was the one thing that united us with our ancestor. We have not been offline since the foundation of humanity. I mean, they had depression. You're fucking with me. No way. They had depression. That's so sad. You could get eaten by a mammoth and on top of that shit deal with depression? That's fucked. That is well and truly fucked. That does remind me of this one. Humans haven't changed in all of time. Yeah. Shout out to cavemen. Y'all would have hated doom scrolling, just like we do. I think there are mistakes that we learn from, but not all of them. Okay, small. Change that to be smaller. Doom scrolling in the caves. Plato's allegory. It all comes together. Give a caveman tink tonk. Oh, dude, you know a caveman would go ape shit for fucking barbecue TikTok. You know, the ones that show off the flames and the grease searing on it. They would be on that shit 100% of the day. They would love it. They would never want to leave. They would revere Guga Foods as a god. A man is nothing without his grill. Hashtag damn it's true. Alright, that's some very nice shitting I've done on the cane there. Am I forgetting anything? Am I forgetting anything in this panel? No, I think we're good. Okay. Alright, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Is anybody streaming right now that I know of? Oh, Jersey is streaming, so we can... Easy is streaming, so we can go say hi to her. Yeah. Everybody have a great rest of your night. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I will see you all on... I am checking my schedule. 1 minute. Wednesday for some alert art. Alright. Catch you later. Bye.